Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with a little channel guide. I really think it's time I did this because I noticed from the comments that a lot of you find videos because YouTube suggests them, or you've been Googling, or for some other reason, but you haven't landed on my channel homepage. And as a result of that, you may not know just what kind of a resource this is and how much stuff we've put together over the past 3 years. So let me just start by saying, last time I checked, there were 3,291 videos on this channel. I have no idea how they got there. I really don't. Somehow I woke up one day and said, we need to do some videos, and this is the result. So there they are. And I've organized everything into playlists, which you can find on my channel homepage. And I want to tell you what some of those playlists are and how they're organized, because there may be things that you've never dreamt of. I don't know. But if I don't tell you about them, how are we going to find out? That's the problem. I mean, I'm doing this as a video. I could be sending little email blasts too, and I probably will start doing that more frequently as well, just to keep you abreast of some of these things. So let's just talk about what happens on my homepage here, where, you get, what is this thing called? It used to be just called like David Hurwitz channel. It was not very interesting. But now it's called The Ultimate Classical Music Guide by Dave Hurwitz. There we go. I thought that would get me some more attention. And it begins with a little tiny video inviting you to subscribe, which you probably already have. So, if you're watching this, so I don't know how much that matters. And then we go to, here we go, popular videos of all kinds of things. And for you, I don't know how that happens. But I want to get to the created playlists. Here we are. After the created playlist, those are just in chronological order of when they popped up. The latest one was my survey of Soupe recordings. Soupe is really, really cool. We've got some more stuff coming up. There are only 3 videos in there. By the time a composer gets 3 or 4 videos, I usually create a dedicated playlist for that composer. And so we have general video categories. All right, let's see what we've got here. We've got repertoire surveys, the best and worst recordings of, well, so far, 478 different works. So that's a lot of that. Then I've got reviews of all kinds, which is just a dumping ground for things that don't have other dedicated playlists. That has 777 videos. This will take you a little while to get through them all, I think. Then we've got musical sequels and prequels. I really like this series. This is take a piece of music and look at what came later and what came before and what relates to them. And it's a great way to expand your knowledge of repertoire and discover pieces that you might not have heard of before. That has 23 episodes so far. Then we've got music chats, which are just talks about everything and anything, in lists of stuff and all kinds of crazy things. That has 419 episodes. It's a lot of episodes. Then we've got, Tinnitus Classics new releases. Well, this is terribly important. Tinnitus Classics is our very own private record label, and you should really, they're my whimsical take on classical music releases, and I think they're really quite fun, and you might enjoy them. I don't know how many are there. I don't even know where it went now. It all just disappeared. Wait a second. And so what that was, well, I lost my channel. So there we go. I'm doing really well with all of this stuff. I'm such a genius when it comes to this nonsense. Wait a minute. Here we are, back where we started. Hello, friends. See, that's where we started. And there we go. General video categories, Tinnitus Classics. There are 20 episodes there. Then there's classical music for beginners. Oh, that was a big deal. This is a big deal for me because I really want beginners to have lots of stuff that they can look at. And there's about 141 episodes for beginners, which really is way too much because, I really believe that less is more. I really do. I always have. I think that I say that having made 3,200 and something videos. I know. But, the classical music industry and repertoire is so vast, so I can't do less that way. But I think when you're starting, you need to take your time and really just give it a natural progression instead of just cramming it all down and going crazy. But there's 140 some odd episodes. The key there is to find something, if you're a beginner, that you really like to begin with, and just sit with it for a while. There's no rush to do any of this stuff. There really isn't. I'm just trying to do as much as possible before I die. I mean, that's my rush, but it's not yours. You've got as much time as you've got, so don't worry about it. Then we've got ideal work lists, 54 episodes of lists of symphony cycles or operatic cycles, or the output of a composer where there are no weak links. These aren't necessarily what I would consider my favorites or the best of everything, but there are no bad recordings in those lists. And so if you're looking to get, for example, all the Beethoven symphonies or all the Puccini operas, you'll get a list of them in those videos that are uniformly good. And you won't ever have to worry about the quality of them. Then we've got the world's most beautiful melodies, 33 episodes of those. I should do some more of those. The problem with those is copyright claims when I use music. And copyright claims are a big issue. In fact, I've recently had just a terrible problem with BIS records because I had permission to use all of the clips for the BIS reviews and mentions of their recordings directly from Robert von Bahr himself. And then BIS got sold to Apple, and Apple has now got all of its content, whatever they do to it on YouTube to catch people who use it. And so I'm getting copyright claims for all of those recordings where for the past 3 years there were no issues and where I secured permission to use the music. And they don't seem to care. And it's horrible. It really is. So that's a real pain in the ass. So I have to deal with things where I need to play music are an issue. Especially if I want to monetize the video, which I do because I'm working hard doing this, and I want my 3 cents worth or whatever I get from them over a year or two. Then we've got miniature masterpieces, 49 episodes of short works, keys and feelings. This is an interesting series that it requires a lot of work, and I need to take some time to expand it. It only has 6 episodes so far. We're dealing with different tonalities like C major and C minor and the great works in them, and trying to figure out if are there any specific feelings associated with specific keys, at least as far as what composers have done with works in those keys. It's just an interesting historical discussion. Abstract sounds, concrete objects. What the heck is that? Oh, that's music that is so tactile when you hear it. You just, the composers didn't tell you what it is, but you listen to it and you just know it's a storm or a train or a something. Those are fun to talk about. Let's see what happened after that. We have road music. Yeah, 11 episodes. This is what I was driving back and forth between New York and Connecticut regularly. And I needed to listen to stuff. So these are some of the pieces that I played while I was in my car. When you've got a couple hours to kill and you're driving, well, it's really quite handy to have some road music to deal with. Best of previews. The best of previews. 51 of those so far. These are best recordings by specific artists, which are tied in to the actual list for subscribers to ClassicsToday.com. And I'm going to be doing more of these, and I keep promising and I keep not getting to them, but I'm going to get to them because it's a fun series to do. And as a teaser, I do some sort of overviews of the various artists and their strengths and weaknesses, and as a way to send you off to have a look at the big list on ClassicsToday.com. But these are standalone videos about those artists, and so some of you may find the chats very interesting. Then we've got, interesting overtures, 17 episodes. I thought I did more of those. These are cool. Wonderful overtures you may or may not have heard of that are definitely worth talking about and listening to. How to listen to great music, 9 episodes. These are long episodes. Here I take apart specific works, and in this case, Grieg's Peer Gynt Suite and the Brahms Second String Sextet, and we go into them in a lot of detail, talking about how to really, really pay attention and listen to those. And that's very, very, a lot of you have written back to me saying that they've been very helpful in planning your listening strategies, and I'm really happy with that. I think they're fun to listen to, and there's lots of music that you hear. I don't just yap. You can actually listen. a lot of people comment and say, why don't you do musical examples? Oh, well, the fact is there are thousands of musical examples on this channel. They just haven't paid any attention and found them yet. So there you go. Dave's Faves. This is an entire year of recordings, 368 episodes. I included leap year and a couple pieces that I duplicated for various reasons. And so there are 368 episodes, which gives you an entire year of music. You could have one recording per day of my favorite recordings, in case your tastes and mine are simpatico. Then we've got Ask Dave. These are chats, 29 episodes where I answer your questions, and feel free to ask more. Great Artist, Bad Day. Yeah, the worst of the great. This was fun to do. 18 episodes where you have wonderful artists and everybody has an off day, and we talk about their off days. Then we've got, 12 episodes of updates to previous videos. Haven't done those in a while. I probably should. Music industry atrocities, 4 episodes. I mean, I could do 400 episodes of this, but I don't want to be too negative. Lists with twists. These are lists of all kinds for you to get your record collection in shape and your listening sessions planned. There are 171 different lists so far. Tips on critical listening, 9 episodes. These are chats about how to approach pieces of music in the act of listening and using your ears without distraction. And they talk about various aspects of music, like rhythm and harmony and other things, and stuff you should listen for when you listen to great music, and that you may find that useful. Then we've got essential lists for beginners, 69 episodes. This is different from classical music for beginners because those involve other talks, not just lists of things, but actual descriptions of music and whatnot. But here we have just lists. Essential lists of music that beginners who are interested in specific kinds of music and categories can get into. And then we've got shorts. Well, YouTube told me to make some shorts, so I did, and I didn't like it. And there's 24 of them, and they're stupid, and, they pop up, though. I mean, they get used, and some people have commented on them. I did take classical music's 10 dirtiest secrets and turn those into 10 individual little shorts. So that was fun, and they get a little bit of outrage once in a while. Fabulous concert programs. Well, we're in the middle of that. We've done 127 of those. These are concert programs that you'll probably never hear in concert because they're too interesting, but you can do them in your home and do them yourself if you feel like having an evening at a concert and you don't live near your local symphony orchestra, or their programming is boring, or some combination of those things. Then we've got random reviews. Random reviews are things where I just grab a stack of discs and we talk about them. There's 147 of those. And the biggest section of that is, well, I was moving. And so I unpacked my CDs as I was moving, pulling things out and talking about them with you guys. And then I'm now doing random reviews from the overflow room, which is all the extra stuff I'm reshelving because I have to move it all. And so we're going through in reverse alphabetical order my entire CD collection of overflow. And there's a lot. There's hundreds of thousands of CDs. It's going to take a while. The Genius of, 1 episode. I only made 1 episode of those, but it was a good episode, whatever it was. How I discovered. These are 24 episodes on how I discovered great music, composer by composer, which I think, is fun. These are fun conversations because, I'll throw out a composer and you get to tell me how you discovered that composer. And it's really wonderful for me to see how you all, found great music and all these serendipitous ways that it interacted with our lives. That if I could choose only one work by 116 episodes of this is like, whoa. Yeah, this was the evil god Cankrazans, who is going to eliminate all of classical music because he's sick of the snootiness of classical music listeners and the obnoxiousness of the classical music industry. So he's going to destroy all of it except for 1 work per composer. And I'm selecting which work the surviving thing should be to try and forestall Cankrazan's evil intent. I am his Scheherazade, keeping him from implementing his dastardly plan by entertaining him with all the different music by all these different composers. We also have a different one of those coming up for artists. Then what are you listening to lately? Just a chat about things that, I've been playing with and, there's only 11 episodes of that. So it's not a big deal. The most important recording projects ever, 39 episodes devoted to major recording projects, and the least important recording projects ever, 13 episodes of those. Works that never seem to work, 4 episodes of problematic pieces, and I should do more of those too, because boy, there's a lot of them. They never seem to come off in concert, even though they get played a lot. They're singularly difficult to interpret. The Haydn Symphony Crusade, 52 episodes, with 53 coming up. We're talking about all the Haydn symphonies with musical examples and analysis, one at a time, and we're going to do them all 107 of the suckers. And, I'm hoping that I will get through this before, something awful happens to me. I really, 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 really feel strongly about this series, and I am taking my time with it. But it is the most important thing that I feel that I'm doing right now, because it's music that I love dearly and that deserves to be paid a lot more attention to, and that I think isn't listened to with anything like the love and attention that it deserves. Then we've got, music I just didn't get. That's 3 episodes of pieces that never struck me until something happened. And we'll talk about what that something is. Unkillable, works that never fail, 5 episodes of those. Yeah, pieces that always come off well, as opposed to pieces that never come off well. If I could choose only one recording by, we're up to 26 episodes of those. There's a lot of artists we get to go through and a lot to come. They gave the premieres and made recordings. This is a very interesting little series of 10 videos about conductors who premiered iconic repertory works and who survived to the age of recordings to make really good sounding recordings that most people tend to ignore when they consider how the music ought to be played or what it ought to sound like. This doesn't mean all of their recordings are fabulous, but it does mean that they were there, and so they have a certain authority that we need to at least consider before we throw it out the window and say it doesn't matter. Then finally, we're almost done, folks. Classical clumps. 6 episodes of things that come in clumps. I don't know why I made that. I got to look at those and see if there are more clumps we need to talk about. If you like this, then you'll love these. There are 5 of those so far. Now, these are the music listening exercises taken from my first book, Beethoven or Bust, where I take groups of pieces and organize them by 2 pieces that were written about the same time and 2 pieces that are related to those that were written either earlier or later. So it's kind of like a miniature prequels and sequels, but it's done chronologically instead of by individual works. And then we've got composers' most embarrassing works. Oh yeah, 12 of those. That speaks for itself. And the most effective album covers. 4 videos of album covers for you to look at. We're going to do some more of those. And that, my friends, is just general video categories, one group of playlists. We also have playlists grouped by composer, and I think there are about 160 different composers that have playlists dedicated to them that you can search through. And then we've got videos organized by musical genre other than orchestral. So that's band or wind ensemble, chamber music surveys, choral vocal, solo vocal and opera, solo keyboard music, pre-Baroque vocal and instrumental music, and film music. That's what that stuff is. And then big boxes, contemporary or unknown classics, challenging music, rarities, independent labels, ripe for reissue, a whole bunch of other sort of miscellaneous categories. And there's a lot of videos in here. I mean, box sets have 580 videos, contemporary music, classical music is not dead, 151 videos. There's quite a bit of stuff. Great neglected composers and works, 487 videos. All right, so there you see. This is just a very, very general overview of what you can find. I mean, I've talked about it now for 18 minutes, 20 minutes, because I've talked about all these different playlists. And I mean, I hope you didn't find this too boring. But there's just a lot of stuff here. That's my point. And a lot of things for you to enjoy and sample and play with. And 3,200 something of them. And to take your time over. It's like a lifetime of stuff. It reflects my lifetime of stuff. I mean, that's what it is. And I hope you find it useful and enjoyable. And search. Look for stuff. Play with stuff. I think you'll be quite pleasantly surprised by just how much music is out there. There's something for everybody, and whether you're a beginner or experienced or whatever, it's there for you, and it's a work in progress, and we're just going to keep on going. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Keep on listening, and take care.